What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to SMITE Meta Casual News. It's been way too long. New patch on the way, a few skins and a brand new god, all that and a little bit more. Once again, my name is FG3000, you're you, and here comes the news. First up in news, Ymir finally has his much-awaited remodel, and I think they did a fantastic job on it. The model itself kind of retains all of the things that people liked about Ymir, including his voice pack, which was super important, but they added, you know, that new high-res flare to his model. So he's kind of reflective. His mallet is not just this big, huge chunk of ice. It's actually a mace with ice just kind of crusted on top of it. The top of his shoulders is kind of snow encrusted. Very good. I like the new Ymir. And the cool thing about this new Ymir is that your Twitch Ymir and your Nuclear Ymir also have this updated model as well. I think Obsidian Ymir as well, but don't quote me on that. Please don't. Next up, we have this brand new Scylla skin. Pretty cool. If you know anything about The Nightmare Before Christmas, this is a skin kind of in that vein. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw this out there because I know someone's gonna say it, copyright, yada. I think after the whole Bastet fiasco, I think Hi-Rez kind of knows what they can do as far as copyrights. I don't think they're gonna run into that trouble again. So I'm just guessing, you know, I could be completely wrong, but this skin is obviously inspired by Tim Burton-esque artistic theme, and it shows. But with all that being said, it's still a fantastic skin, and for all Scylla skins, the real star of the skin is the wolves. And it's really kind of hard to see her wolves when you're in your ultimate stance because you have the CC immunity, the big yellow glow on you, so you really can't see it very well. I'll throw the in-game card on the screen so you can see exactly what the wolves look like to give you a better idea. But like I said, all around a fantastic skin. And next up, Hercules has a brand new Luchador skin, obviously inspired by the Luchador Wrestlers, but it also has a little bit of Nacho Libre in there as well. If you've ever seen the movie, there's a few of the taunts and jokes that are kind of inspired from Nacho Libre, so very cool. As far as his abilities are concerned, they're pretty much stock Hercules. There's not a lot you can do with Hercules' abilities. I mean, they did what they could by adding some stars around some of his abilities, and then when he pops his 3, he has these championship belts kind of revolving around him. But the real highlight ability is his ultimate, where he throws his humongous piñata. And what else really needs to be said about that? Awesome. And that's going to kind of round out the skins that they actually showed. But there was one other skin that they tweeted on Twitter, obviously. It was Xbox Zeus, which they did not show in the dev highlights. And we haven't really seen what he looks like, but pretty safe to say it's going to be Zeus with Xbox as a shield, and he's going to throw green lightning bolts. I'm pretty sure that's safe to speculate on. As far as how you get it, I'm pretty sure it's either going to be everybody that has the Xbox version gets that skin, or people from the PC version that port their information to the Xbox version get that skin. It's probably going to be one of those two ways to get that Xbox Zeus skin. I'm pretty sure that PC players will still be able to get the skin. So far, all of the exclusive skins for other regions, etc., have been available on the PC version, US version, EU version, all that good stuff. So it might not be available right out of the gate for PC players, but I'm pretty sure one day, if you really want to play Xbox Zeus, you'll be able to do that. So that's it for skins. Let's talk about this brand new goddess. So the newest god to join Smite is Bellona, kind of like baloney, but Bellona. She is a female warrior, the only one that we have in the game. We used to have Nemesis, but she was never really a warrior. She was always kind of assassin-like. So we actually have a warrior that feels like a warrior, and I'm pretty sure she's going to stay a warrior because I've played her already, and her kit very much lends to being in the thick of things and fighting a battle to the end. So pretty cool. I'm not going to go through the nitty gritty of all the details of her abilities. I will put a link in the description below so you can go directly to Hi-Rez's website and read all of the abilities by name and look at the stats and the cooldowns and the numbers and all that good stuff. But for the sake of this show, let's kind of keep it basic. So first and foremost, the elephant in the room, we finally have a female warrior, and we also finally have, a lot of people have been asking for this, another female in the game that isn't half naked. You got it. Here it is, Bellona. She's wearing full armor. She looks ferocious. Her voice pack is not dainty. So far, I really like the way she feels. all of the sound effects and all of her abilities feel very, very meaty. And you'll see when you finally get to play her, when you're in the middle of a fight and you're using your abilities, you feel the impact on it. So they did a really good job on her voice pack, the overall feel of the character, and the overall feel of the character connected with her abilities. So when you use your one and you switch to the sword and shield and you dash into the middle of combat, you feel like you can actually withstand some blows. And then switching to her number two, when you bust out this humongous two-handed hammer, you open up with this humongous 360 sweep, dash up into the air, come crashing down. It actually feels very, very satisfying. And then you switch to her number three, which is this scourge whip-like weapon, and it makes sense that it's a lifesteal. Like when you feel like you're just ripping the flesh from your enemies. I know I'm getting very, very graphic, but stick with me here. It actually feels like this ability, yes, I understand why this gives me lifesteal. I understand why my two hits everybody and crashes down. I understand why my one is used when I'm in the middle of combat and I'm trying to survive. All of her abilities really make sense. All of the weapons really make sense. So fantastic job on her one, her two, and her three. And then of course, all leaps where you yell at somebody and you plant a flag in the ground, you can't go wrong. You just can't go wrong. You will not be disappointed jumping into a team of like 3 or 4 people right after an Ares ult. You're gonna really like this character. So let's see how much she changes from the PTS to live, because you know there has to be balance changes. There are going to be tweaks to her numbers and whatnot, but as long as they can keep her feeling the same and as long as she's playable, like I said, you're probably going to see her in the solo lane. I mean, you could jungle her, but her biggest weakness is she doesn't have a way to lock down anyone. Her number one does slow, and then of course she has a leap on her 4, but that's pretty much it. She doesn't really have a way to just stop somebody in their tracks. So that's going to be debatable to see if she's going to be a very good jungler. And then moving on to the other side of the map, as far as Guardian or ADC, once again, I don't really see her as a Guardian, because when I think of a Guardian, I think of 2 types of things that they have to have. An initiate, which she does have an initiate, but lockdown, some type of hard CC. Most good Guardians, like an Athena, for example, have a way to get into the fight and a way to lock down a fight. And she doesn't have that. So maybe in a kill lane type of situation, but as a true top tier Guardian, I don't really see that. And then last but not least, ADC. I could kind of see her as an ADC. Because most of her abilities are kind of anti-physical, anti-auto attack type of abilities. So you put her over there in the long lane against another hunter, that could be a thing, absolutely. So, but if you want my initial prediction based off of absolutely no conquest experience with this god at all, I say solo is going to be her primary spot. Some people will try to jungle her. And then third would be ADC, which I think she could do a good job there. I'll have to test it out, and I will. But that's what I think about as far as where she's going to land in the meta in Conquest. Guardian, not so much, but maybe. And then, of course, mid would be the dead last role that I'd put her in. Not saying she can't do it. Her clear could do it. She has a pretty good ability to zone people out of mid camps with her ultimate. She doesn't really have an escape though if she uses it, so that kind of puts her in a precarious position. But like I said, those are just my initial predictions, and that's gonna do it. So hope you enjoyed Bellona. Just think baloney, Bellona. My name is FG3000. Just think FG3000, and that's gonna do it for today's video. Meta Casual News is back, and it's not going anywhere. We'll see you next video. Later. Guess what? I lied. So one last thing, hitting the presses, Ares has a new skin, and I'll just leave it on the screen. Yep. See you next time, guys.